Welcome again, guys, to Pure Property Investment One-on-One. I'm joined today by Scott LeCain. Scott, thanks for joining us, mate. Scott is the principal of Aussie Home Loans Parramatta, as well as Rouse Hill in the western suburbs of Sydney. We have had, again, going on the topic a little bit more lately of how the banks and the credit environment in general is starting to show some really genuine differences in rates for different products, and interest only versus principal and interest versus fixed versus variable. One thing I think, which is actually pretty consistent, and it's not necessarily subject to the last 6 months of how the banking environment's changed, but probably more so investors treating property and also their mortgages as a business, is reviewing regularly your position, the interest you pay, and is it the best structure, the best product and the best rate you could actually be on?
Yeah, hugely important, really, really important that everybody does a portfolio review. We think 12 monthly. It's really important to have a look at your portfolio every 12 months. Things to look at is rate, rents that you're paying, but on the rate side of things, really, where am I at with all the different rates that I've got? And it might not be necessarily need to change lenders. It might be just have an understanding of what's out there, put some pressure on your existing lender to say, I know that NAB's offering XYZ, what can you do? I know that I can get a fixed rate with ING for this. Put pressure on your existing lender. It is a bit of a hassle for people to refinance, and particularly at the moment where lending's got much, much tighter. If you've got a big portfolio, obviously, it can be difficult now to refinance that portfolio, but what you can do is you can put pressure on your existing lender to say, I can save 50 points by moving. The fact that I'm going to save $4,000 to do it, I'm going to go through the hassle and I'm going to do it. And you put the pressure on them, and hopefully you can get the result out of your existing lender to say, okay, here's a fixed rate that's going to get you in good stead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think key to that for me is sort of understanding, if you were to ask the question of your existing lender, the worst thing you can do is they say no. If you go the same thing with your broker, ask them to go ask the question of your existing lender. If you understand or you're armed with the information of what else is out there and what's available, then understand the pros and cons, because rates aren't the only thing that you need to focus on. It's structures, it's the facilities, it's whether they have an offset and a whole gamut of other things that come with it. But I think, again, it comes down to your objectives, your structure and your strategy, and having your broker know those things before they actually go and recommend a product is key, because some brokers might not necessarily really understand exactly what you're trying to achieve, and they just say this is the best product because either A, it's easiest for me to put you in there, or it might not necessarily be that complicated for me to switch it over, as opposed to knowing, I know what you want to achieve, I know cash flow is important, or I know an offset's important, or I know being able to have a redraw facility is important. Here's the best lenders who are going to provide that for you.
Certainly those flexibilities you're looking for on your owner-occupied loan, and you've got the most power at the moment on your owner-occupied portion of your loan. So there's real cash flow to be saved. If you put the pressure on the banks to save on your owner-occupied loan, they're falling over themselves for owner-occupied principal and interest loans. So really put the heat on your lender in regards to that facility and try and save some money on your portfolio from that. That line.
Yeah, and that non-deductible debt. So sage advice there, guys. Again, as always, if you do need to get in contact, or is anything there that you thought, well, it's worth asking the question, Scott and his team are always happy to answer a call and go through your position, see if they can help, or even just give some general advice. Likewise, on our side, from a property front, feel free to give us a call if you do want to have a chat about anything property related. We're always happy to chat, and our details are at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for joining us again, Scott, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.